For 5 decades, Gloria Estefan's music has moved the world. This is Let It Loose, a Gloria Estefan podcast, the first fan-led show dedicated to her life, legacy, and impact. Lifelong Estefans, Carlos, Rob, and Wes explore the songs, moments, and stories that make Gloria an icon. If her music changed your life, then welcome home. Hi, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Let It Loose. My name is Rob.
I'm Carlos.
And it is a Cuban revolution today on Let It Loose because Wes is not with us.
I don't understand how he gets away with this stuff. Like, I tried backing out of this episode
Several times.
and you would not let me.
No, because we have nothing else for Thursday. The people look forward to this. They told us this.
Okay, but we deserve a break too. We're on vacation.
We are on vacation for the next few hours because we're in Atlanta.
We are in Atlanta, and we just finished seeing Basura.
The world premiere of Basura, the new musical that Gloria and Emily have been working on for a very long time. And we have our thoughts, and we're going to dive into that. We're going to talk a lot about being in Atlanta, having a little mini reunion with so many of our friends, our close friends, and nothing. We're excited.
We are super excited. I can't believe that we're here now because we bought these tickets, a year
Oh
ago?
my God. As soon as they were on sale, we were buying them and planning and plotting. This was before we even had a podcast. Before the podcast was even
I didn't even think about that.
Was even a thought.
That is very true. I remember purchasing the tickets, or I remember the day that it was announced.
Mhm.
I went right online as quickly as possible to buy myself and my friends tickets.
Yeah.
But I totally forgot that we were going to see a theater show, and I thought I was buying tickets to a concert. So I went straight to the front row, front and center, and as soon as I purchased them, I was like, yes, I got front row. And then it took me 2 seconds to register. I was like, wait a second, this is not a concert, this is a theater show. And I know sometimes when you're in that front row, you're looking up the entire time.
Like being in IMAX.
Exactly. Yeah. So then at that point, I was like, oh, I've been stressing for the past year thinking, oh, this is going to be a horrible experience because we got front row for this theater show. My neck's going to be all out of whack by the time that we're done with, seeing the show. But no, it was great. The front row was actually a perfect spot.
You start imagining what the set might look like and how obstructed your view might be if you're in the front, and it did not happen at all for us.
It didn't. There were maybe one or two moments because of the way that where the actors were sitting when they were like in the classroom.
Right. Yeah.
You couldn't see what was in front of them, which was behind them. That was the only
that was the only thing. Those were the only moments for me.
But outside of that, it was great.
It was fantastic.
But so fast forward to a year, we're here in Atlanta, and this almost felt like a conga bash.
It absolutely did. And I've never been to a conga bash. So it was nice to reunite with people who, I think the last time many of us were gathered together was, 2015 for Viva Broadway. Was the last
huge that's right.
Convening of Gloria people from all over the world.
Well, since you mentioned that, I think, oh my God, I'm getting old because now I'm starting to not remember certain things. So Viva Broadway, is that the one where I organized a lunch before?
You did, because I was working.
Cuban restaurant?
I was working in theater at the time, and I took my lunch break to go to Havana
That's
Central.
right, you were there.
I was there, and I don't think I drank because I couldn't drink at work.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So that's been a minute for you.
It was 10 and a half years ago.
Wow.
It was September 2015, I think.
See, the last Conga Bash reunion type situation that I was in was with Laura when we were in Madrid.
Oh, sure.
With that reunion that Anna and Aaron had organized, which that was a fabulous little party that they put together. So that was really cool.
No, it looked amazing.
But so fast forward a year, we're in Atlanta. Everyone decides to come to the premiere, the world premiere.
Yeah.
I think we all thought that it was the actual opening. Many of us.
Yeah, because also
the
the first preview for On Your Feet did have a little bit of a opening night
air about it.
Yeah.
There was press outside the theater. There was a little bit of a red carpet. There was a little bit more pomp and circumstance. So I think people were expecting that. This was a lot more like we're working on the show, bare bones type thing as far as like press goes and photography goes and all that extra stuff.
So would you say that what we experienced yesterday is kind of more of the norm?
100%. Yeah. I was shocked in Chicago that there was so much like step and repeat and pomp and circumstance and party like celebration.
Yeah, because there was a party, an after party.
Yeah.
In Chicago for the premiere.
And usually after a first preview, the cast and the creative team clear the theater and convene right away and have a meeting about what just happened in the theater, what they noticed from the audience, and what needs to be fixed and worked on for the coming week of shows. Because the shows and previews until June 12th, when is opening night in Atlanta, and around June 12th, the show would quote unquote be frozen so that press can go to the show and see what everybody else is going to see after June 12th and review it.
So today's the day after the world premiere. So from today's the 31st of May until June 12th.
Around June 12th.
From here to then, they can change the show.
There could be changes. They could scrap a whole musical number for all we know. They could add a new one in. Like they could rewrite scenes. Like they could say, I noticed the audience was not responding to this, or I noticed the audience really responded to that character. Maybe we can add something for them, or take a song out that didn't work, or take a scene out that didn't work. And they're rewriting. They're, like if you've ever seen like a sitcom taping, like the friends behind the scenes, and you see that joke didn't land with the audience. Let's write 5 different ones and see which one works.
Got it. So that's what they're doing right now.
Theoretically.
Okay.
Yeah. It depends on how far along they think the show is or not. Like if they think we're in really good shape, we don't need to rewrite anything, they may not be doing all those things. But that's really what their preview process is for.
And I think to be fair to our listeners, we want to do everything, with a lot of respect. So, when we'll dive into what we saw and kind of, what our thoughts are.
But this is the second performance they've ever done with an audience.
Yeah.
Because before not opening night, before first preview, there was an invited dress rehearsal, and a dress rehearsal can stop and start if they need to. There can be technical issues, and everybody who's in the invited dress rehearsal is aware of that and respectful of that. But a first preview audience
gets invited to the dress rehearsal.
Mostly people who are friends of people who work on the show, people who are investors in the show. It's invited only.
Got it.
Yeah.
So not for podcasters.
Not for podcasters. Although I was ready. I was hoping. My fingers were crossed.
We weren't the lucky chosen ones.
No, maybe on Broadway.
Maybe on Broadway.
I'm a local.
Actually, you know what? I have to say that we were invited to the opening
night. We were
opening night, but we already had plans to be here, so that would have been nice. But it would be hard for us to travel back. But I'm excited to see what they do with this and we'll get into it in just a bit.
Yeah.
But I thought it was a very strong.
I absolutely did too.
Preview.
Yeah.
But before we get into Basura, leading up to this, we decided the day before yesterday to post on our Let It Loose podcast Instagram stories that we were going to be at this local bar by our hotel. And just in case if anyone wanted to show up and say hi and just hang out with us, it wasn't anything official. It was just hey, we're going to be here and,
come hang. And you know what? They were wonderful to us. So if you're coming to see Basura in the next few months, they're called Mid-City.
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 Oh, my God. Please be sure, because there will be time from, when you listen to this episode to the closing. If you're out here, go to Mid-City, ask for Seth. Seth was amazing. I don't know if he's a manager or...
I don't know, but he was wonderful.
And he's cute, too.
He was a cutie patootie.
But he He was great. We didn't even okay, so this was pretty bad that we didn't even warn them that we were
I mean, like we've done it with other podcasts too. Like, hey, we're just all gonna gather and convene, and like they're just happy for the business. I quite frankly,
which
Yeah.
in our case they were thrilled. So we show up and there was another conga fan, member and her husband, so Sherry, shout out to Sherry. And we were like, okay, who knows if anyone
It's
else is
just
going to
us and
show up,
Sherry.
maybe it's just going to be us and Sherry, and that's it, and that's fine,
That'd be great,
because
too.
it was very last minute. And all of a sudden, everyone started showing up, and that place was packed.
Packed. I mean, it helped that it was a small place.
It was a very small place, but it was just for the amount of people that showed up, it was a perfect location. And what was cool was Seth and staff, they kept on thanking us for, just the vibe that we brought in. Everyone was so wonderful and the drinks were amazing. So once again, we highly recommend Mid City if you're out here. And it was just a perfect spot to get some pre-show drinks.
And also really connect with people who are listening to the podcast who I've never met before. Shelley from Wales said, I look forward every Thursday to listen to your show because it feels like I finally landed on my home planet.
Oh,
And I'm about to cry. I said, don't say that to me.
I love her.
Yeah.
Even though she was torturing me this entire weekend, I don't know, she was just picking on me the entire weekend.
No.
We looked like brothers and sisters. Even when we were around Gloria last night, she was kicking me in the foot, and
That's cute.
Yeah, it was.
She's a riot. I had a fun.
I met Shelly for the first time at Madrid. I reference Madrid so often because
it's our Chile.
It's my Chile. You know what? Now that you mentioned Chile, I know that Wes is about to board a plane, but should we try calling him just to see if he?
Yeah. Otherwise, I'll have to break out my Wes impression, and it's not as good as a real thing.
Let's see if he answers. Let's see.
Yo, what up?
Wes, you're on the podcast right now.
You're on your podcast.
Yes, we're recording, and you have us working for you.
If I wasn't at one of the busiest, loudest airports in the world, I could totally be with you guys. But I can chime in if that's doable. The quietest place I could go would be the bathroom, but that would be super awkward.
No, we don't want to hear the sounds of
Listen, we know that you're not a theater guy, so we're not going to have you chime in on the show. But we're talking right now about Mid City, the pre-show drinks, the bar that we went to. How was your experience meeting all the other fans?
Oh, that was amazing. Seeing so many faces that I've seen over on the internet for 20 plus years, meeting them for the first time, it was priceless. It was so awesome.
It really was great.
I appreciate everybody who turned out, meeting all the new faces as well.
That's right.
There were too many names that I can't really name right now, but each and every one of you guys it was amazing.
Were you surprised with the turnout?
Sooner, yes, and let's do it sooner than later.
Absolutely. I feel like we're gonna have more of these.
We're gonna have to figure it out or make up something.
Oh,
yeah. But the question is, are you gonna show up?
Absolutely.
Or are you gonna have us working your event?
We can, whatever you decide. I'm down. You do way better at planning than I do. But I would suggest maybe like a Carlos karaoke.
You know what? On that note, Wes, we can't hear you.
Oh.
We can't hear you anymore.
You're breaking up.
You're breaking up, Wes. Have a safe flight. We love you.
Karaoke is never a good idea.
I am not doing karaoke. I already said it, and you've mentioned this before. I've mentioned this as well. When we have people like Austin out in Spain,
immediately no.
No, there's no way.
Don't be good and do karaoke.
No.
Like, who are you performing for?
No. You are not Celine Dion. I know I'm not Celine Dion.
I know I'm not either.
So, all right. So the get together was great. We had such a good time. We were there for what, maybe an hour and a half?
Yeah. about an hour and a half, and then we made our way to the theater, which was around the corner, but we all took Ubers anyway.
We all took
like
Ubers,
idiots because we didn't know how close things were.
Ubers and Waymos. Oh my God.
The Waymo is the thing in Atlanta, and it freaks me out.
I cannot. I know a few people went into these Waymos, and there's no way in hell that you could get me in one of those.
Absolutely not. It got stuck in a roundabout
No.
the other day.
Nope.
It's just going in circles.
Sorry.
I would every ounce of fluid from my body would release in that Waymo.
I'm too much of a control freak
I
to like lose control
and
to
I don't
nothing
know how to drive.
to a driver's seat
Yeah.
that isn't there's no driver.
I wonder if there's a rule, like a law, that you have to be a licensed driver to be in a Waymo in case you need to take over.
Ooh, that's a good
I don't know, but that ruled me out because I don't know how to drive.
Yes, you did. Yeah, you New Yorkers.
Yeah, New Yorkers with one good eye. I'm saving lives by not being on the road. I can only turn to the right.
That is hilarious. All right, so we made our way to the theater, and which was the Alliance Theater here in Atlanta. And the show started at 7:30. They were running on Cuban time because
Well, every show starts at 7:35.
Oh, does
Every
it?
show starts 5 minutes after the.
Oh, I thought once you hear the bells ring.
Well, that's to get people ready for late seating, and then places get called at the 7 o'clock, 7:30 mark, and then at 5 minutes in, even Broadway starts 5 minutes later.
In my head, I was blaming Gloria.
Oh my God.
Because I saw Gloria come in a little late, or not that she came in late, but there were all these people huddled around her. So I was like, oh, blame the Cuban.
Right.
She's making the show start late.
But for a first preview, it started on time, which is good.
Okay.
You know,
I'm relying on you for all this information because
I don't want to sound like a tool who knows it all.
But you do know it all because you kind of were in that world.
I was.
So what was your role in that world?
I was in general management and marketing. So I worked on I mostly wrote contracts for the actors who were starting workshops and starting the creative process of a show. So like, let's say Basura 2 years ago when they did their first workshop, I would have written the contracts for all those artists, and that includes like stipends and housing money for like putting people up in hotels or finding housing for everybody. So it was not exciting stuff, but
that's very interesting.
Yeah.
And I'm smiling.
Okay.
We've known each other for how long?
Like a long time.
A long time.
20 years at least.
This entire time, I thought you were just an usher.
Well, no, I did usher after my full-time job because theater pays garbage.
But I had no idea about this other stuff though.
That's funny. That was my
hilarious.
Full-time 40 hours a week, and then in order to supplement the money that theater pays you, I had to work as an usher.
Also. Interesting.
So I learned
something new.
I was working 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. 7 days a week.
So you are a jack of all trades.
Yeah, I've had every job. I worked in a bakery. I worked in retail. I sold watches until I couldn't fix the watches because I didn't see the gears. I sold furniture for a day.
You do the work that Wes doesn't want to do.
That's right.
Like host a podcast. Anyhow, the show starts.
Yes.
And I think we were all very cautious. We love the people, the creative team. Of course, we love Gloria, we love Emily. But with anything new, you kind of, at least I feel, you kind of go into it, just cautiously, not knowing.
And because we're so close to it, I felt the intensity in the front row of everybody just holding their breath, like wishing it well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like hoping it is just everything that it could be.
Oh my God, you hit the nail on the head with that.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't realize what that feeling was. And now that you say that, that's exactly what it was. Everyone holding their breath.
Yeah.
Just, we want this to be successful, right? These are people that we care about and we love, and just we know the amount of time and blood, sweat, and tears that goes into something like this, right? And we kind of know firsthand because Gloria has shared that with us, and we're so close to her. So we want to see it succeed.
100%.
You know.
And I felt physically my shoulders drop during the second song.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know if you want to get into it yet, but
yeah, let's get into it. But before we do, I'm curious. When did my shoulders drop? And I felt that little sense of relief. I want to say probably around the same time.
Yeah. So context in like the formulaic formula of a Broadway show, you have an intro song that teaches you about like the world that you're in and what the show's kind of about, and they have that song called Pass It Along that's about meeting your instruments and getting to know the music or whatever.
Wait a second. No.
What?
I don't think it was the second song for me. Is Pass It Along the first one?
Yes.
I think after the first song, once they were done with the first song, I was like, oh, I could get into this.
Okay. So I love an I Want song, and the song that is usually in the beginning of in the early part of the musical is an I Want song. So you've got The Wizard and I from Wicked. You've got Breathe from In the Heights, where there's a character in the show sharing their dreams to the audience. Okay. And you kind of get to know like the inner workings, the inner machinations of your protagonist, and you get to learn who she is and what her dreams are. Okay. Right. And I love an I Want song. It's a classic theater trope, right? And I Wanna Run is that song, which is song 2. And when she starts dancing around the table and talking about her dreams and her wishes and her dad at the time, it for me was, okay, we're in the world. This is a beautiful song. And that's the first time I teared up. Because I'm I teared up a few times. And that was my first one because I was like, oh, okay, we have the picture perfect, 100% perfect I Want song. And it was I Wanna Run. So I was very happy with it. So when that song finished, that's when you were like, oh. I'm in. I'm in Cateura and I'm thrilled.
See, I think for me, after the first song's fun.
Yeah, it is.
The first song's a fun song. So, and you know me, I'm Mr. Chuma. I'm like, I want to party. So it was a really fun song. What was interesting throughout the show, though, is we know that Gloria and Emily wrote the lyrics and music. And of course, there's going to be songs where it's more Gloria heavy, some that are more Emily heavy, or, both of them as a collab, right? What was interesting throughout is you could feel or you can sense as fans, like anyone listening here, you guys know what is a Gloria song, right? And I'm sure a lot of people have followed Emily's career as well. So you kind of already know her vibe as well. So throughout, I remember writing some notes saying, this feels very Gloria heavy.
100%.
This feels very Emily heavy. This, I could see them coming together. So it was really interesting to, as a fan, just to hear the songs of Basura and kind of know where these came from, who they came from.
Even like to predict, like, oh, that one note in that song did a little bit like, there was like a rock and roll edge to that, how they went up in the vocal instead of down in the vocal. And like, that might be Emily, like the fun way to like guess about who did what.
Yeah. Was there a standout performer for you?
100%. Well, there were several.
First of all, before we get into that, the cast is amazing.
They are stellar.
The cast is amazing. There's not one person that you can say, oh, they're not as strong as that. No, it's just throughout. And their voices.
Beautiful.
Oh my God. So beautiful and pure.
Yeah. Yeah. The actress who plays Nambi, who's the female lead, she's incredible. The teacher, and I have to tell you, from seeing a lot of things on Broadway, seeing a lot of theater, when an older man starts singing, you start thinking about the trope of older men songs of like Sentimental Man from Wicked, or where you're like, oh, this is going to be a skip. And this man, his songs were bops.
His songs were bops. His voice was
fantastic,
amazing.
And the original title of the show was in his first song, because the song was called One Note. And the original name of the show
I was
Five Notes.
trying to. Oh my God.
Mhm.
That was driving me crazy.
What?
I was like, why do I feel like this is referencing something that I know of?
Because it's about the 5 notes that you're learning as a musician.
That's what it was.
5 Notes was the original name of Basura, and then Gloria and Emily fought for the title of Basura.
Okay. Okay. Got it.
I was locked in. I was listening.
That's what it was. He's singing the song, and I kept on saying, why do I feel like I know, like this
Yeah.
seems familiar?
Mhm.
And it was because that
It
was
was
one of the
Sparky's-
titles that they,
Mhm.
because there were quite a few, right?
Yes.
I know that was like the
5
main
Notes was
one.
someone that we heard. Okay.
And I know that Basura was kind of controversial.
Right. Yeah. Because at first you're like, oh, the show's named Garbage. And you have to really understand why that's the title. So if anybody does want to watch the documentary, it's called Land Philharmonic.
Harmonic, which I have not seen yet.
No.
I do want to see it now after seeing the musical.
You can rent it for $3.99 on many streaming platforms. It is free to watch if you have the Tubi app. TUBI.
Oh, okay.
Free to watch on Tubi. $3.99 everywhere else. And that might explain a little bit more about this world, but they do explain everything to you. So watching the documentary is not a prerequisite to this show.
Yeah, because the show has nothing to do, the theater show. I mean, yes, the subject is regarding
Actually,
the landfill, but I think it's, what they created.
they created new characters, but there
New
are
character,
some
but-
characters, like the character of Nunu, who was, to me, the standout performer.
Oh, Nunu was amazing.
In the actor Zach Calderon's bio, he writes a special thank you to none of this would exist without the spirit and generosity of Wee Wee, and he puts his Instagram handle there, whom Nunu is inspired by. So
Mhm.
at least that one character, from my quick glances at the cast bios, was inspired by a real person, which is cool.
I just wish everyone could see this show because there were such strong performances, such strong performers.
Yeah.
I fell in love with everyone on that stage.
I agree. It's a show with a lot of heart, and like
Yes.
everybody throws that around when a show's being worked on, like, oh, the show has so much heart, the show has so much spirit, and that's a really it's a buzzword to get people to fall in love with what you're working on and whatever. But this show doesn't say all that in all their promos. They say like the world gives us garbage and we give them back music, but the heart and soul of these performers, of the love that they are building as a creative team and a cast, is so evident and so obvious. Like they are just such a strong unit together. It's a great cast.
Do we know how long this process had, from when they started
Mhm.
the idea of Basura? Do we know how long this has been going on?
We don't. Gloria started mentioning it, I think maybe 4 years ago.
Has it been that long already?
Yeah, because last year, when she was promoting Raices, which just turned a year old this week while we're in Atlanta.
Happy birthday,
Happy birthday,
Raíces.
Raices. Gloria did an interview with Enrique Santos, and she says, we've been working on this show for 3 years.
Oh,
And that was
wow.
last year. I don't know how far along in the writing process they decide we're ready, we have a group of songs, and we can do a workshop. We did hear about a workshop a while, long ago, at least 2 years ago at this point, if not more. But the process takes a long time, and
Well, it's been fun learning
yeah,
somewhat of the process because of her. She shared her writing process.
Yeah.
She spent quite some time writing and then rewriting and learning that whole process. What goes into theater, especially musicals, where you could go ahead and write all these songs and then have to rewrite the songs and then sometimes have to go back and rewrite them again. So that, the transformation of that has to be interesting because I know when Gloria has talked about her songs, she'll mention how it's hard for her to choose a favorite because these are like her babies.
Yeah.
So I wonder how that is received as a songwriter for a musical, that they're writing these songs, you think you got it, and then they come back and say, no, scratch that.
Yeah.
I need you to rewrite this
You're saying
because
don't get attached because like that's what you're saying.
yeah,
Like,
don't get attached.
don't get attached to a song that like you had a nice time writing or that you're really proud of because in front of an audience or even in front of an audience that night. And then the next night it may not be. Like
I was just going to ask you. So what we heard last night, by the time let's say it gets onto Broadway next year, it could be something completely different.
I would be shocked, but it could be.
It could be.
Yeah. I mean,
they could take out songs.
They could take out songs. They could add new ones. They could rewrite songs. They could give a song to a different character. But a lot of, or I would say so much of the show, I was like, I can't wait to see that person win a Tony Award. I can't wait to see that whole musical number be performed at the Tony Awards because it's already so solid.
It really is a solid show. I feel that whatever changes that they make really is just gonna, I mean, it'll take it. It's already out there.
Yeah.
Like out of this world. If they elevate it anymore, if they could elevate it anymore, I mean, it's gonna be.
And this isn't
something
us
out of this world.
blowing steam. We're not just trying to like.
No, this is I would not be. I don't think I would be doing this episode if I didn't.
I honestly, if I
didn't care as much as I did.
If we had nothing, if we didn't have this much love to give the show, we would do an episode about how lovely it was to connect with everybody in Atlanta.
Yes. Yep. I
and
agree.
How great it was to see Gloria.
Or we could have just done like Wes and not do the show.
Oh, we're in the sky.
So absolutely, I completely agree. And what's interesting is one of my best friends, she was with me. She was with us. And she is, I mean, she's hardcore. She's a hardcore critic. And she has no filter. And I was worried. I was like, oh God, let's see how she's gonna react. And she will be brutally honest. And then I have to hear that and deal with her opinions. And she was so pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
She came back and she was like, I have no notes.
Yeah. Not even 5 notes.
Not even 5 notes. No notes.
So I have a question for you.
Okay.
Gloria, in the writing process, mentions that a lot of these songs remind her of Destiny and Unwrapped. But that's just two examples that she gave us. Are there any songs that reminded you of albums or of a particular Gloria era?
I did feel, and I think we talked about it last night. I don't know if there's a song that reminds me of an album, but there are some songs or a song that you could tell it felt like it was inspired by, let's say, her grandson, Sasha.
Okay.
I can't remember which song, but I just remember hearing it. I was like, oh, and we talked about it.
Yeah.
You know, we're like, yeah, I could see her dedicating that to
maybe with My Butterfly, the one about the mother sings to her daughter, maybe.
Possibly. I don't remember.
But you know what? The song, the 23rd of November.
I love that.
I love that song. And it did remind me of Destiny in some ways. Like it has it had a cool adult contemporary edge, and you didn't hear the title of the song until the end of the song.
Yeah.
It was cool, a cool effect. I loved that one.
23rd of November was really good.
Yeah, it was.
Now, one that is going to be my guilty pleasure, and I will probably have on repeat when the soundtrack comes out, A Fork in the Road.
Fork in the Road.
A Fork in the Road
is a show-stopping number, and that's the first big choreography that we get. And the choreography.
We got to talk about that. We have to talk.
Outstanding.
We have to talk about the choreography. So the choreographer for this show is the same choreographer for Buena Vista Social Club, and she won a Tony.
That's right.
Her name is Patricia Delgado, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
The choreography in this show is just it. I don't feel like there's too much.
It's not overly done.
It's not overly done. Very tasteful, like where they decide to do the choreography. Very fun.
Yeah.
Very energetic, but
because for a show like Buena Vista, you need people dancing the whole time because the songs don't tell a story. The songs don't propel the story forward in any way. The songs pause the story. You're listening to a song, a Cuban standard, and then you go back to the world of the singers. But these songs do propel the story forward. So you have a ballad that's maybe a conversation between two people or someone expressing their inner thoughts. So maybe that isn't a dance show-stopping number, but Fork in the Road was cool because we got to really meet the character of Nunu and fall in love with him.
Everyone fell in love with Nunu.
Mm-hmm.
You are going to fall in love with Nunu. Now, during the choreography, there was one standout person for me.
For both of us.
The individual that plays the role of Marcelo,
mm-hmm.
the way this guy dances, it's just, I don't know if we know his name, but
do.
Cody Perna?
I think that's, yeah.
Oh, Marcelo, yep. So, hands down, let me tell you something. If I could dance like the way that he dances, you couldn't tell me shit.
That's right. Yeah.
You wouldn't be able to tell me shit.
Yeah. I was looking, I was like, wow, my body's never done that. I don't think
especially at this age, that is not happening.
And if I did, I can't imagine I would do it again tomorrow and 7 more times that week. No way.
I'll be in the ER.
That's right. The Act 1 finale song was also a really fun.
Really good. Really, you know what was interesting? There was someone, I overheard someone saying that the first act was a little slow, but that the second act was, great and was better than the first. I think it was, we heard this in passing.
There was a lot of people
like that,
talking,
right?
Yeah.
We got through the first act, and I was like, if this is slow, I don't even want to know. I mean, I do want to know.
Yeah. Oh, can I tell you something funny about intermission?
What?
So the first act ends. Wes gets up and he's like, well, that was great. Where are we going now?
Shut up. He thought it was done?
He thought it was done. And then, no, the best part was the lights start dimming for intermission, and he goes, what's happening? I was like, Act 2 is happening.
Oh my God, bless him.
Yeah. So
I love him. I love him to death.
Every moment took him by surprise.
the most oblivious person.
I was like, they didn't even bow. He's like, they bow? He had no clue.
Well, it was only his second show.
His second show
ever. Musical. Because the first one was On Your Feet. That was a million years ago. So, so Act 1 ends. I was pleasantly surprised.
Me too.
With how that went. And then Act 2 starts.
Act 2 starts with the song Basura.
Okay, but the song Basura, we already hear an interlude.
That's right.
In the first act. For me, the very first time that I hear them singing Basura, I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
I literally got a chill down my spine. And every single hair on my body stood on end.
Yes, I know that happened for you.
I know it didn't happen for her.
No, I only think of, unfortunately, the Family Guy joke whenever anybody in anything says the name of the thing we're watching. So I think the joke was they were watching Grease in the movie theater, and he goes like, "Oh, I need Grease," and then Peter Griffin goes, "Oh, that's the name of the thing we're watching." So I just hear a meme and it's ruined it for me.
Okay, I get it. But for me, it really, I don't know why that specific moment just gave me chills.
Yeah.
But once again, just hearing their voices, it was like hearing angels. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but that's how beautiful these people sound.
Yeah. And the Basura interlude, to go back to that, and then we'll keep going, does explain everything about the landfill and about the community. So once again, if you don't watch the documentary, you could catch up to this world through that interlude. So it is a very helpful part of the show as well.
You know what? This is totally off topic. What did you think about the set?
I wish I could see the set more because where my seat was.
Okay.
But I thought we're in an era in theater where sets are very minimalistic.
Mm.
And I don't think that this show falls into that, which I'm very grateful for. We got actual set pieces. We got actual pieces of like rooms that moved and things that turned into houses.
Okay.
We
okay.
were not getting a whole show on one screen, like is a very common thing on
Is that a
Broadway
thing
right
now?
now. It is bad.
Really?
Yeah.
What? So
We're getting projections
do you think that's done?
to save money.
Is that what it is?
100%.
Oh.
Yeah. And also people say like, oh, like, AI has helped us so much and like we can create so many things with whatever, that it's cutting costs on set designers, it's cutting costs on artistic directors, on a lot of people who make their living creating the beautiful set pieces that, make a show.
Oh wow. Okay. That's very interesting. I had no idea.
So like there's a show on Broadway now called The Lost Boys. It's based on
The
the
Lost
movie.
Boys, yeah.
And people were blown away by the fact that it had sets. They were like, wow, it had a full set and it was really huge and moving or whatever. And
So is
for
this
that to be
something-
an anomaly now is
that something very recent, or
Yes.
it's been going on for?
it's very recent. And I was very
interesting.
grateful that this show didn't do that. Like they did have the landfill behind them lit up as a
I enjoyed,
and I thought that was beautiful. Yeah. Yeah.
I thought they did a real good job.
And that wasn't a projection, it was a lighting effect.
It was a lighting effect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was great.
Very cool.
Mhm.
All right, so we're gonna go into the second act.
Act 2. Act
Was there a
2.
standout?
Yeah.
I don't want to give away too much.
I don't want to tell the whole story.
Because I'm sure next year, once this opens on Broadway, I'm sure we're gonna revisit this
I
again.
hope so.
I hope
Yeah.
so. I mean,
I would love to talk
fingers
to
crossed.
the people who worked on the show.
But was there a standout performance in Act 2 for you? Because I know for me,
I have 2.
you have 2.
Okay.
So go share yours.
I don't want to. I won't take yours because
You know exactly
which one.
Yes.
Okay, I won't take it then. Okay.
No, we can say it. I mean,
All right, we can.
We
keep
both
order. We both love
Quarter Suitcase. So Gloria, Emily, whoever's listening, whoever wrote Quarter Suitcase,
Don't change a thing.
do not change a thing.
It's such a cool conceit for a song because like the kids who've never been on a plane before get some information that they have to travel with their Philharmonic and they have to figure out how to pack. And in order to cut costs, they each get a quarter of a suitcase to pack their things in. So the conceit of the song is, what do you pack in a quarter suitcase? And there's some Spanish in it. There's some Spanglish in it. It's funny.
It's funny.
It's fun. It propels the story forward. So it was a perfect musical theater song.
And we saw some choreography.
Absolutely.
With that one.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to see Patricia Delgado's work, and that was
that one. I think could clinch the Tony nomination for her. That could be the Tony Award performance. Fantastic song. Yeah, really. My other standout was Nambi's Act 2, I guess 11 o'clock number.
Okay.
Called Impossible. And kind of to the opposite of an I Want song,
Mm-hmm.
you get to a point where the things that you want aren't working out the way that they're supposed to, or the way that you dreamed that they would. And so she has another song that's sad, right? But what I loved about this song is that I could hear Emily's touches on this throughout, because they take the melody and some of the lyrics of the I Want song from Act 1, I Want to Run, and they make them, there's like a downbeat to them. They like make them sadder. They make them more jazzy. It's where I could hear Emily. And so the melody repeats itself, but the emotion behind the melody is completely different. It's sad. It's heartbroken. And I thought, wow, these two people, Gloria and Emily, did their homework and really dove deep into how to write musical theater in a way that is familiar and effective, but has their touch to it.
It is a whole different world.
Of course, yeah.
You have to, as a songwriter for pop music and what they do.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have to sit down and study? Like how do you even study for that, or how?
I would think you do, and I think the people who don't it shows. You know,
Mm.
when that
That's very
shows
interesting. That's a very
yeah.
interesting take. Because I wonder, I know that they've gone to see, they've seen so many musicals, throughout the years, having a musical themselves.
Yeah.
Maybe from that experience as well, possibly.
That their creative team is also, I imagine, very helpful with things
Well, they
like
have
that.
Alex Lacamoire,
Right, who worked on several humongous shows,
humongous shows.
you know.
Well, Gloria related, he was involved with what was the movie? Vivo, right?
Did he? Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that would make sense because he and Lin-Manuel worked very closely together.
I believe. Now, I hope I don't
What
I don't start getting hate mail.
I mean, he worked on Dear Evan Hansen. He worked on In the Heights, which is my favorite musical of all time. Obviously, he worked on Hamilton, uh, Vivo. You're right. Tick Tick Boom. Like he is a powerhouse musical theater person.
I think the whole creative team.
They're
just, when
incredible.
you look at the names, and you might not be familiar with the names, but then when you look at their biographies, you're like,
oh, I saw that. I saw that. I saw that. I saw
okay.
that. Yeah.
They're working with like
Yeah.
legit people.
100%.
So because I mean, to be fair, she's legit too.
Yes, of course. I can 100% imagine them being like mapping out a show and being like, we don't have a quote unquote song for this character about this feeling. We wrote the intro scene for it where she's talking about, feeling disheartened and feeling whatever, but could we write a song that closes out her arc and, circles back to act one? And given that seed, maybe that's how that song grew. I don't know. But I could definitely see the creative team guiding that and them being as creative as they are to just run with that and write a beautiful song like Impossible.
Once again, we don't want to go ahead and give too much away.
No spoilers, right?
So no spoilers. So I think, with our assessment, we're good, right? You guys are gonna have to fly out to Atlanta, watch it for yourselves. But what happens now? So July 12th, it closes.
Yes.
Potentially, it'll open spring of next year. That's what Gloria has mentioned to me. That's the idea, right?
Yeah.
So from closing of here at the Alliance Theater to opening in Broadway, what happens during that whole gap?
Depends on the show. Because I've worked on a lot of shows that go back into another workshop and do performances in workshop for investors to be like, we're trying to build our capital or whatever for a Broadway run, and we need your support. And here's what we've done from Atlanta to New York to get it on its feet for a Broadway run.
So what they've done now, they added to their basically like their CV. And here's my CV. This is what we've done, and
they could do that. They could also be in great financial shape as judging by the special thanks page on the playbill. I don't know. So I don't know if they need to do that. I also don't know if they need to workshop it right now, because they're on day one of a 3-week or a 2-month run, and it's really, really strong. So I don't know how much they need to go back into the process from here.
I want to read something that Gloria mentioned to. I want to read something that Gloria mentioned to me that, since you mentioned workshop, she wrote to me earlier today. We've actually been very fortunate that our producers have been so generous and gave us 4 solid workshops among all of the other work we've done together on our own. And our creative team is stellar, and we all generally enjoy each other's company and have the same sense of humor. So I think we're much further along than shows would normally be at this juncture. And Lacamoire took our songs and demos to a whole other level, especially with his vocal arrangements.
That's awesome.
So it seems like they're, according to what she's saying, it seems like they're further along than, other shows.
Yeah.
So
don't tell Wes that there are demos, because he's not going to shut up.
Yeah.
Strike that off the record.
Wes, don't listen to this episode.
He doesn't listen to our show.
It's true. All right. So, I mean, to wrap up, because once again, we don't want to give too much away. would you say that this is a solid show?
Absolutely. I genuinely would, not just because we're doing this podcast. Like if I didn't, you wouldn't ask me that question because you would know that I couldn't. And I 100% could. Uh, I I loved also seeing Mandy Gonzalez on stage again.
Tell us about Mandy Gonzalez for those that don't know.
Mandy Gonzalez is my favorite voice in all of musical theater. She was the original Nina in the Heights. She has played Elphaba in Wicked. She's been in Hamilton. She's been on so many things, and she's a voice that she takes such good care of her voice that when she was in the Heights, they called her the Beast, because if she didn't feel like she was in tip top precise shape, she wouldn't go on.
Really?
Yeah. And you hear her voice and you hear the way she performs with her instrument, and she's a beast. There's no voice like hers.
Interesting.
So to see her back on Broadway, and to see her, no, not Broadway, to see her back on stage in a role that's so different from what I saw her in originally, because in the Heights, she played a college freshman.
Okay.
She was leaving her neighborhood for the first time. She went to Stanford in California, and she's unsure of herself because she misses home, and she's 18. And now she's a mom with all different priorities, the mother of basically an 18-year-old, as far as we know. We don't know the ages of these children in the show, but it's interesting to see her take on the role of Priscilla Lopez in the Heights, who played her mom, who had those priorities, who had those dreams for her daughter of like, this is who I want you to be. I'm going to put all that onto you. To see Mandy Gonzalez take on that role versus her original role as Nina was a really cool thing to see how she's grown.
Let me ask you this regarding the age. Do you think, because they don't mention the age, do you think it would be important to add that to the show? Do you think the audience should know?
Yes and no. I think no, because there's really no big romance. So like if somebody kissed, maybe you'd want to know that they're 19. You know what I'm trying to say?
Because
like,
you waited till 19 for your first kiss. Right?
Sure.
That's another episode.
Yeah, that's for our Pride episode.
Which is next week, by the way.
Surprise. If there was more of an adult edge to the show, maybe.
Got it. Okay.
It's not clear their ages, which could age them down.
Okay.
So I don't really know if is it important or if it's not important. So I also don't know how you would do that creatively, other than being like, come on, mom, I'm 15, like
yeah.
There's really no nuanced way to do that.
Okay. Okay. Any constructive criticism? I do have one, and I don't think it has nothing to do with the cast. We talked about this last night, and it may have just been a fluke just because of the first show, but the very end was a little awkward.
Yes.
In regards to, they bow.
They bow as a whole cast. I haven't seen that many shows. But the ones that I've seen, I always see everyone, one by one, come out, take their bows, and then you know that it's done. Yeah.
This was everyone together, they bow, and then they leave, and you're kind of like waiting and waiting, and you're like, what's happening? And then the lights come on, you're like, oh, it's done. So yeah, I would just button that part up.
I would too.
That's the only critique that I have.
Because I wanted to give
nothing crazy
the cast members their moment. I wanted to give the actress who played Nambi her moment, her big applause. Yeah. The actor who played Nunu deserved.
Oh my God, he would have had. The audience would have gone crazy for him.
And easily, like for so many of the characters, the audience, I think, wanted to demonstrate that love for them and couldn't. Yeah. I also think
that's a good way of putting it.
Yeah. The orchestra behind the cast was.
Are you allowed to say that?
What?
Isn't that like a surprise?
That there's an orchestra?
Yeah, but it felt like a surprise, didn't it?
There's musicians who play the music.
Oh, It was surprising to me.
Okay. Hey, everybody. On Broadway, there are musicians who play the music. There's a conductor and an orchestra, and sometimes they're under the stage, and sometimes they're on stage.
When they showed up on the stage, I was like, oh, wow.
And on your feet, it was Miami Sound Machine, but mostly it's people who are
You know
union
what?
members.
We're going to wrap this episode up because
But no, my one point is that the orchestra, I'm not sure if they were the recycled orchestra.
No, that's why I was surprised because I thought it was the actual.
I know that the members
orchestra.
of the recycled orchestra were there. I couldn't see well enough if it was them. But if that's the case,
That's why I was surprised
We
because I
need
thought
to-
it was them.
they need walkout music. They need to play when the cast walks off stage so that we can start walking out and applaud them.
Okay, that would be good.
Right. So those are my points. You need to be able to celebrate the actors who you want to celebrate and cheer for.
You know, you're a jerk. 'Cause
What?
I do know that there's an orchestra. I just thought that it was like the original.
I mean, their names are in the playbill,
Well,
but it doesn't say that they're from the recycled orchestra.
okay.
I could if they are. That would be nice. That's it.
Anyway, so that was our take on Basura.
Uh-huh.
Once again, this is just a preview.
Yes.
So things will change. I will say that for me, and I know this is going to sound cheesy, and the only reason I'm saying it is because it could have gone the other way. But for me, this was anything but Basura.
Oh,
It
that was good.
Yeah. It really was a great show. And I
agree.
can't wait to see it again. I actually wanted to see it tonight, and I'm still hoping to. It's sold out, but
which is good for it.
We're gonna see how we get in there, who I need to sleep with, but we'll figure it out.
Gloria, gird your loins, 'cause Carlos is coming. I'm excited for it to be in my backyard. Come to Broadway sooner than later so that I could see it over and over again.
I
'cause
guess I'll be visiting you
Yeah.
next year.
Yeah. Well, with that, everybody, that is the end of Let It Loose in Atlanta, our first hotel room episode.
Yeah.
I guess Wes was in a hotel.
West doesn't count.
From
We're not
Taylor.
talking about West.
Oh,
for a
yeah,
while.
yeah. Special thanks to Wes for coming up with this podcast and to Carlos for doing everything else. For
Rob and Carlos.
no, and Laura.
And Laura too, yeah.
Yeah. So thanks, Wes.
You just
Thanks.
had to throw that in there.
Hashtag Wes brought us together.
Anyways, stay tuned for our next episode, which is going to be our Pride episode.
Huh?
And then our season finale is coming around. Like
know.
it's right around the corner.
Mhm. That one that one is.
I think
Later.
when this episode airs,
It'll be June.
June 4th,
June 4th.
I think we will have already announced a special something that's happening.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So I think by the
What
time
a
people
boy.
are hearing this one, the surprise is out there.
We've let it loose.
We've let it loose.
Jeez.
So yeah, stay tuned,
Stay tuned.
and we'll see you next
See you
week.
next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Let It Loose, a Gloria Estefan podcast. Let It Loose was produced by Carlos, Rob, and Wes, with graphic design by Laura. Thank you to Gloria for bringing us all together. Subscribe, rate, and share the love, and join us next week for a brand new episode.